Hey, 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 drop it, low, hey, even though I'm already low. Yeah, work them shoulders, girl. I see you off the shoulder. Okay, bring it back, some car, bring it back. Happy Saturday, everybody. Happy Saturday. Honestly, we have such a show. I don't even want to go into. I love you guys with the pleasantries because there have been some updates since our planning call and new videos I've had to have with certain situations. So I'm going to get right into this. Thank you to everybody who's joining us on Radio Regents and everyone who will be joining us live. We are the Not Your Typical Girl Talk crew, and we're going to introduce ourselves in alphabetical order and get right into the show.
Yes, I am Garcia. Nice to just be here with my Not Your Typical Girl Talk crew. Welcome to another episode. I'm ready to get into the foolishness. So, Telly.
Me too, girl. I am so ready for the foolishness. The internet keeps on dishing out. My name is Telly. I'm not going to take it no more time. Sheba, go ahead.
I am Toshiba. They call me Sheba. I am the final female member. And to my right is my partner in crime who's going to introduce himself.
It's your boy, Robbie 3 times. Happy Saturday. Love to be here. It makes me feel like I'm in high school and we roasting. Like, let's
Right?
You got to love those celebrities and celebrity culture because it's the gift that keeps on giving. And so every week we come on just trying to make sense of the foolishness on the internet. And ladies, I think we all know this week was International Women's Day. Right?
Oh, yes, it was.
And so International Women's Day, it is, you talk about women and how women can elevate. Well, one celebrity had some advice about what women can do in order to get to the next level of their career. But before I bring her on, what one piece of advice would you give ladies who wanted to elevate themselves?
I'd say keep going. Start and don't stop. I think that's the main thing. As women, we try something and then you hear some negative feedback, what have you, and you feel like I just want to give up. But I say, you know what, keep going. No matter what, you're your biggest fan. As long as you believe in yourself, others will follow. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, I would say something along the same lines. Make sure whatever you're pursuing, make sure it is aligned to you, to you. Make sure you're doing something that you're truly passionate about, something that you really love. I think that's important as well.
Mm-hmm.
I would say you don't make it in this life alone. So make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who you can learn from and who you can teach as well, because I think transfer of information is very important. Roberto, what would you say? Sorry, Robbie 3 times. What would you say would be some advice you would give?
take a debate class.
I mean, education is always good.
Well, we had a friend here, and she had some advice for the ladies about what they needed to do.
It's for women in business. Get your fucking ass up and work. Nobody wants to work these days. You have to surround yourself with people that want to work. Have a good work environment where everyone loves what they do because you have one life. No toxic work environments, and show up and do the work.
Okay, if people don't know who that is, that was Kim Kardashian, who was saying to people with her family surrounding her that you need to get up off your ass and work. Now, if we don't recall, Kim Kardashian started her career by making a sex tape. In addition to that, Kim Kardashian is the daughter of Robert Kardashian, who was friends with O.J. Simpson and on his legal team. So let's just say Kim Kardashian did not have to start from the bottom. Now we're here. She already was born with at least a silver spoon in her mouth.
Correct.
What do you guys think about Kim Kardashian saying, get up off your ass and work?
Okay, so you know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Telly and I had a conversation, and I was like, you know what it is?
Yeah.
If I said it, no one would be mad.
No.
People would have been like, yeah, girl, you're right. We need to get up and work. But Kim Kardashian, we just explained her past, where she's coming from. Her father is the famed Robert Kardashian, famous celebrity, lawyer. Right. So she was set up. She was set up for success.
Yeah.
And the way how she came at it as an overtly privileged woman who has literally, like, she's so privileged. She's got everything going for her. You know, she's, you know, other than her marriage, for which she married
she's dating
someone
that
who also
14-year-old
has
boy,
everything
so.
going on. Exactly. You know, the last thing we needed to hear in this day and time, through COVID, through people losing their jobs, through inflation, the last thing we need to do is hear from a woman that's gotten about $500,000 worth of work done to her body.
Girl.
You know, grew up in luxury. Her best friend was Paris Hilton. Like, seeing that and hearing "get up and work" doesn't sit well,
right?
with everybody else who is out here actually working.
Yeah, you know, no one, the four of us, none of us have been born with the silver spoon, or sorry, the golden spoon in our hand. We had to work and still are working. Message understood, just wrong messenger.
Wrong messenger. Yeah.
If it was from someone else, like Oprah, or someone that, you know, really was from the bottom, and now they're here, this would never probably even made news.
Right.
The only work that Kim has done was on her back. Like, if it wasn't for Ray J, no one would know who Kim Kardashian is, and her mom, and her famous father. Her best friend, she was styling Brandy. Her best friend was Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. She was she was born in Beverly Hills royalty, Hollywood royalty, schmoozing with the right people, hang out with the right people. So her saying that people are so lazy these days, it's like, oh, no one wants to work these days. It's like, oh, okay, Kim, go ahead.
So you brought up Brandy. Do we not recall that Kim Kardashian was sued for stealing like $120,000 from Brandy?
Oh yes, but no one wants to remember that because
she was working.
She was working. She was getting out of her bed and working because she said that other people don't want to work these days.
So go ahead, Car.
No, I was just gonna say, when she said this, we heard one Kardashian say, "That's so true." That's so true. The one Kardashian that said that work is not a priority in her life, and that was Kourtney Kardashian. For which I was like, sis, why are you talking? But anyways.
So someone decided to respond to Kim and say, and this was Jamila Jamil. She said,
she is hilarious.
Thank you. She said, I think if you grew up in Beverly Hills with super successful parents in what was simply a smaller mansion, nobody needs to hear your thoughts on success/work ethic. This same 24 hours in the day shit is a nightmare. 99.9% of the world grew up with a very different 24 hours. She also goes on to say, because I have to read the entire thing because it was fantastic, not the day after International Women's Day. They are a super impressive family of businesswomen and are products of a ridiculously good start and a genius manager in their mother, as well as their own hard work and personal sacrifices. Plus, a lot of Photoshop and a decision to not care about misleading people about their beauty claims, whilst never disclosing how much secret work goes into their appearances that they make most of their money from, and a huge amount of money made from questionable diet/detox products and corsets. They shouldn't be asked about their secret to success. They shouldn't answer those questions. It's all obvious to everyone, and I hope nobody holds themselves to the standards of people who were raised by millionaires. Just take the money, use it for good, and chill the F out when lecturing others about grind and hustle, and learn how to brag without putting others down who have less.
She pretty much summed it up.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Thank your team. Be like, I want to thank my team. The reason why I'm successful is because I have a great team around me.
She's a great mom.
Her mother was standing behind her. All she could have said is, you know what?
My mom.
Thank you.
Thank her mom. If her mom was going to tell her to release the sex tape.
My mom.
Yeah. Thank her mom. Honestly, if they even asked the question to Kris Jenner, I would have more respect for it. Because at least she's coming from nothing. Yeah, and where Kim was born in this royalty. So angry response. She was like, "Kid, why are you mad?
You know what though?
You got money."
In a way, we do
Is
have
Kanye
to.
getting on you that hard?
We do have to blame. We do have to blame the media at some point as well, because Forbes is responsible for saying that her little sister Kylie was the first self-made billionaire when that wasn't true. And
Wasn't
wasn't
true.
actually,
It was a lie.
and she
Wasn't
wasn't
actually
actually a
a billionaire.
billionaire
She
at the time.
And she's not
obviously
self-made.
is not self-made.
No.
It's the media tends to love stories like these,
Mhm.
and they keep on pushing this narrative that you too can be, and that's why even love that she brought up the whole, you have the same 24 hours in a day that insert whoever famous person's name.
Right.
And the truth is, no, you don't. Because
Right.
listen,
You
having 4 kids, let's look at the reality of it. Kim Kardashian has 4 young children.
Right.
They're all young.
Yep.
And she is going through a divorce while nurturing a new relationship.
With the 14-year-old.
Right. And the reality for most women is they would not be able to do all of this.
That's true.
Because they don't have nannies. They don't have tutors. They don't have financial ways to travel to Barbados and have their kids taken care of while she's hanging out with her boyfriend, and having a co-parenting relationship with a man who's also a overtly multi-billionaire.
Mhm.
So this is Cinderella and the 7, I'm mixing up.
Cinderella and Snow White, girl.
Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, Cinderella. This is a very not
It's
real,
not real. It's a fairy tale. It's
narrative, and we're trying to
Weird.
apply it to real life, which is
Thank you.
the death of humanity.
That part.
girl. Stop. Don't compare yourself to celebrities. Just don't. I hope people get that from this conversation. Don't.
I just think there should be the term work has gotten really vague.
Yeah.
You guys realize we're working, but we're not working. And I think we're all honest about that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're sitting around talking about things that matter to us, and that content has value in today's marketplace, but
Mhm.
it's not a production-based environment where
Right.
like, you don't do a certain amount of things in that 8-hour day, you're not going to get a check.
Yeah, so her
Right.
reality show that got so popular that she works really hard at. Next.
Yeah.
Living her life.
So
Go ahead, Kim.
listen, here is the thing about the media, because we were just talking about them. The media has an interesting spin when they don't like somebody, how they will spin things a certain way. And I'm talking about what the media tried to do recently to Chris Brown. Okay? So I'm gonna put up a little thing here. Shoot. Here we go. What does this say? Lawyer representing woman accusing Chris Brown of rape withdraws from case following shared voice notes. And we are going to play
Oh, yes, we are.
the voice notes. Okay? So, Chris Brown recently accused of rape. So let's hear what the voice note had to say.
What time is it? Put the time and date.
So,
You're like reading the messages and stuff, and you haven't blocked me yet, so I'm guessing you don't hate me. I just want to see you again. I mean, just answer the phone and then you just hung up. Like, just let me know. Like, if you want me to leave you alone, I definitely would, but I really just want to see you again.
so her words, the final word she said is, I really want to F you again. This was a woman who claimed that Chris Brown raped her.
Yep.
And was suing him for $20 million, yet
Yep.
calling him, leaving voice notes saying, you won't answer or take my call, and just answer so we can hang out because I really want you again. Is that the words of a rape victim?
That whole part. She claimed that she was raped. She finds her way to Los Angeles.
Yeah, she moved there.
She moved there. she sends him these explicit photos of, her body and stuff. And it's like, wait, sis.
And she kept on sending it and messaging him.
So it's like, hold up, I thought he raped you. Why are you sending him dirty-ass photos of yourself?
And this was taking place up to 9 months after the alleged rape.
Why are you still, what? What did she expect? That no one was going to find these messages?
And she wanted $20 million.
Shouldn't she want him to go to jail?
Listen, men and women, hide your sons.
Girl.
Hide your sons. Protect your sons from women who are being raised by other women who ain't shit. Because I'm going to tell you, that woman's mother probably ain't shit. I'm going to say it how it is, because there's no way my 20-year-old daughter is going to go and send dirty picture of our leg them open up wide to some man that, first of all, my daughter's not going to be on nobody's yacht trying to F Chris Brown. Let's start with there. She got other things to be doing. And secondly, if that was the case and she was on there, she's not going to turn around and said he raped her and did all that after you're sending dirty pictures. And that's like, hide your son.
Make it make sense.
Hide your son. I'm very serious. Men and women of value who are raising good, productive sons, hide your sons. Too many Black men are getting caught up with these no good women raised by no good women. And the funny thing is, people are so quick to believe everything about Chris Brown because of what happened with Rihanna. That man is not the same man he was like 12 years ago. If Rihanna has forgiven him, I'm sorry, what are we all holding on to?
Thank you.
I agree with that fully.
We're not the ones that he beat up.
Yeah,
and she forgave him, and she's clearly moved on.
I know.
And so has he. So
here we go again with the media. The media is very much, and I don't blame the world for loving Rihanna. I love Rihanna.
Oh, yeah, girl, I love Rihanna all day.
I always said
day.
that if I would ever get, like top tier, plastic surgery,
it's Riri for me.
I would be like, make me look like Rihanna, like
all
exactly.
day,
every
inch.
But at the same time, that was so long ago. What happened between her and Chris Brown? Chris Brown has hella moved on. She's hella moved on. And
has a whole
she's out here. She's had about 6 relationships since Chris Brown.
She's fine.
So it's kind of like, why are we still with this man's business? I don't know. But you also have to be weary of the fact that women, the Me Too movement has set up women to believe that they can make things up. They can be like, well, this happened in 2013 and he never wrote back to me in my text messages when I was begging for his D. So now he's going to get it. That's the situation that happened here. He never responded to some of her messages.
And she lost it.
Right.
So she figured, okay, I'm just going to sue you for $20 million and that will get your attention. It's like, chick, no one gets raped and then continues corresponding with their raper.
Trying to get
more D.
I thought he raped you. Why are you still trying? What? Did that whole girl that was, that said that Bill Cosby drugged her, but then the next day she went on vacation with him on his yacht? It's like, okay, hold on. If he raped you, then why are you still hanging out with him and sleeping with him?
Rape is a traumatic event, and the fact that we now live in a society that women can just call rape, and no one questions it. No questions. Again, this lawyer clearly dropped her. I'm a lawyer. I'm going to ask, okay, so what were your actions after? Let me see. Did you communicate with him after? Let me see the communications that you had with him after. Did he, if a lawyer who did their due diligence, no, the lawyer heard Chris Brown $20 million and was on. Now they're hella embarrassed because they had to drop her because Chris started being with the investigators and cooperating with them.
Yeah.
Chris was like, okay, cool, I'll cooperate.
Yeah.
I know what's up. I'm not hiding anything.
Because he knows that he didn't do anything.
So I'm going to read something Little Duval said. Little Duval said, so if Chris Brown didn't have those texts, y'all would have automatically took the women's side. Sad part is somebody can come out tomorrow saying the same thing, and y'all will still take her side. They need to lock up anybody falsely accusing somebody of rape, and that's
true. They should.
That's true. I don't see how it isn't.
Right.
Yeah.
It's,
Because it's
look,
defamation.
It is defamation. Yeah.
it's one of the worst things. Look, because like that, it's one of the worst things you can accuse a man of, because the stink of it is always there. Because even if you go through a judicial process and get acquitted, there's going to be a component of people that feel like they just didn't have enough evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Right.
So you're never fully acquitted from a rape
Facts.
accusation.
No.
That is true.
Facts. This is fact, especially in the eyes. Again, we have these things now called phones, and everybody has to have an opinion, and everybody thinks they're an investigative journalist, and everybody knew somebody who knew somebody, and they put that stuff out there. It is disgusting. It is vile. And honestly, I hope Chris Brown does turn around
I
and
hope so.
Miss Jane Doe, because it's funny how she can be Jane Doe.
Right.
Right? Why won't they say her name?
So his name is out there publicly, and I get because he's Chris Brown. But even if he wasn't Chris Brown, if he was Bob Jerome,
Right.
Yeah.
Jerome Bob, his name
Yeah.
would be out there. But after the false accusation, she still gets to be anonymous. I'm sorry, that's not how that crap works.
Yeah.
We
And-
need to know who you're out there, because again, hide your sons.
Right. And the thing is, too, is that, you know, when you think of the men that have to go through this, the internet is a treasure trove of everyone's past. And even, as Rob said, even if they do get acquitted, their name is still all over the internet that it happened. And every job they go to get, everyone they ever meet, people will Google the name, Google their image, and what will pop up.
That happened once, not to me, but to a friend of mine. She was a party girl back in the day. So she had a lot of photos, you know, of her like dancing on tables and stuff like that. She went to go get a job. They Googled her name and found her Instagram. She didn't get the job.
Yeah, because she was up there dancing on tables.
Looking
She's a
suspicious.
good dancer too. I mean, I gotta say.
But you're right. Again, some of this stink never goes away. So we wish
Exactly.
yes, and we just gonna leave that there. We with you, Chris. We with you, Chris. Now, somebody who's a little questionable to me, because let me just be clear. Feminism was about equity and choice, not equality. Learn the difference. There are double standards in this world, and there's a reason for double standards. Well, Meg Thee Stallion doesn't believe that there should be double standards. And so I'm just going to put this up because we're not going to talk about this for this long. But Megan Thee Stallion defends her sexual lyrics. Men should not be the only people who are allowed to speak on sex.
Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Thanks, Megan.
But you're rapping about it. And I don't know. I'm sorry. This one I'm gonna just interject on a little quickly. Because low-key, I don't really have a problem with Megan. Do your thing, girl. But she is, first off, y'all realize a stallion has a penis, right?
That part.
Okay.
This is going to go viral.
Okay. So,
That part.
regardless of, she's an attractive woman. You can't take that away from her. But there's a penis somewhere around there because she's a stallion. And I'm gonna just let y'all run with it from there, basically. That's pretty much how I feel about her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna, and I hate doing this, but I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna put all of the women in one bucket for a minute. Nicki, Megan, Cardi, they come from a specific genre of hip hop, which I've heard men term it as stripper hip hop. And
Pretty much.
you know, that's kind
That's
of
what it
even
is.
if you weren't
Strip
a
club
stripper,
music.
you know, it's a specific type of hip hop, right? We can all agree that
It's
the
oversexed.
lyrics
I agree.
are
Aggressive.
hyper sexy,
Yeah.
very aggressive, and like just out here. And I have no issue with how you want to put your music out and how you want to, you know, display your art, but don't deny something that's overtly obvious. And the issue here is, you know, Rob, you brought up the stallion situation. It's like, Megan, you literally, the thing is, and this is why I will always rep for Madonna.
Girl,
Because
every day.
Madonna would sit on talk shows and say, oh, for sure I have penis envy. I wish I could say and get away with everything that men get away with. That's why I do what I do. That's why in my shows you see me rolling around in bed and doing whatever I want, because I make music about erotica, about sex. Like, that's what I do. She was always very clear, said what she said, no apologies, no regrets, right? What I don't like with what Megan Stallion was saying here is she's denying something that is overtly obvious.
And then not only is she then denying it, she's bringing men up that have nothing to do with the conversation, right? Own what it is that you talk about. It's like when Uncle Kevin says, tell me why your last relationship didn't work without blaming your man, your ex-man.
Right.
Most women fail the assignment.
Yep.
Fail the assignment. She could have owned it and said, listen, I'm a sexual being. Women are sexual beings. We are in a place where now you can, again, the stripper culture, sexuality is a big thing. The strip clubs used to be faux pas. Now couples are going together. I love it, and I want to bring that back. There is, again, men should not be the only people who are allowed to speak on sex. What does men have to do with your music?
You.
Nothing. No, why is she even talking? Like, I'm sorry, guys. No, this, like, if you're an artist, this is why, once again, referring back to Madonna and Prince and like artists that we all grew up with, NWA and them, when they would say something in their lyrics,
That's what they said.
That's it.
I
There's
said
no
what I said.
conversation afterward.
I said
You
what I
take it
said.
for what it is. They said what they said. You take it and you go along your merry way to church. That's it. Case closed. Goodbye. Why is she talking? Like,
Luke owned his music. Luke owned his music. I said what I said, and I knew I wasn't going to go into certain spaces because they didn't like what I said, but I'm going to keep saying what I said. And when you tell me not to say what I say, and I show up there, I'm going to say what I said. Done.
that's
Own
it.
Why
Why is she talking?
Tell me why your last relationship didn't work without blaming a man. Simple. Tell me why you sing about sex without bringing up men. Anywho, Megan, goodbye. We're done. You know who has some regrets, though? You know who has some regrets right now? I'm going to tell you who has some regrets. Poor old Kelly Clarkson. Kelly Clarkson now is having some regrets. And I'm going to read this recent headline. Kelly Clarkson will reportedly pay ex-husband Brandon Blackstock $1.3 million, $45,601 in monthly child support, and $115,000 in spousal support until 2024. Before we get talking about it, let me read in People magazine more about this. So let me be clear. This $115,000 in spousal support is per month.
Yes.
So until 2024, he will be getting so he got the 1.3 million. He will then be getting $160,601 every month until 2024.
Yes.
Also, so he's getting child support, but they actually have joint custody.
Yes.
He's also, let me read, I'm going to tell you what else he gets. So he also gets the couple's former Montana ranch.
Woo!
A bunch of cars.
Wow.
And then he's going to turn around and pay her $2,000 a month to stay at the Montana ranch until June.
Her own money.
So he's going to take her own money and give it back
and
to her, $2,000 to pay her.
Okay.
And then again, $115,000 in spousal support per month until January 31st, 2024. He also gets multiple cars, including a Ford Bronco, a Ford F-250, a Porsche Cayenne, as well as a flight simulator. I'm done.
Which are very expensive.
Good night. Okay.
Yo, who's her lawyer, man? Dollarama? Like, what the?
Hold on.
She got the worst deal
Hold on.
of all
I
time.
want to let people know that
Dollar Tree.
with this story, I so woke up in the morning, did my morning rituals, meditated, journaled, thanked God for everything, gratitude. Then I'm like, let me see what's going on the internet. I opened up my news app. This was the first story I saw. I read the story 3 times because I could not believe what I was reading. I was like, Kelly Clarkson is out here, girl.
That's so wrong.
This is probably one of the worst divorce settlements I've ever seen in my life.
Like, I thought Dr. Dre's was hella bad, but now I'm like, oh, wait.
I also didn't know Kelly was that much in the dough.
Well, you know, her talk show does really well, apparently. I've
She
only
does
seen
very
2
well.
episodes, but apparently it does really well.
She's very well.
Yeah.
And Becky's about to do very well too. And she, again, has the kids most of the time. But still has to pay him child support for when he has his own kids.
I just hear Gold Digger blaring in my head. Got me laughing, so I'm just dying over here waiting for my turn.
And I mean, some people could say, I mean, men go through it all the time, but yo, this man, because I think the kids are like 5 and 7 or something.
Yeah, they're like young.
I think the kids are like 5 and 7. So let's call
they're
it
young.
for the next 15-ish years. No, they got 2. There's 2 kids. There's 2
There's
kids.
2,
And
okay.
let's call it for the next 15 years because depending on the lawyer, you generally have to pay child support until the children finish their first round of education, which is generally a bachelor's. So he could be getting this $45,000 a month for the next 15-ish years.
Mm-hmm.
For kids that he has
only married
a little bit of
7 years.
Make it make sense, Jesus. What the hell?
Well, this is
I
why
had a whole bag of F's. Kelly couldn't get one. Hurts being a man. Hurts being a man. Kelly.
Oh my God! Well,
Goodness.
Robbie, 3 times. This is when you're gonna get your time to say what you say because we are going to do our first segment of 3 minutes with Robbie 3 times. Go ahead, Robbie.
Oh my gosh.
I'm about to keep my eye on the clock because I might go like 12 minutes on this one. Kardashian clan, Kim, just like I said, man, you're in the entertainment industry. So you should be looking at is you entertain people. Just focus on that. Be entertaining. You know, like you guys said, the greatest answer to that, the slam dunk PR answer would have been our mom. She is the greatest pimp/manager Hollywood seen in a long time. Since Hugh Hefner, probably. But artists are, you know, rappers rap and but to say you worked hard is like, that's just offensive to sanitation workers because they work.
Right?
They work real hard.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
What was the second topic? Oh, girl with the Chris Brown rape.
Yes.
That's just some straight BS. Look here, man. I think Chris Rock said it. Men lie more, women tell bigger lies. Okay? And that's the answer behind this whole Believe All Women movement is that like women tell some real crazy big lies, man. Look in the Bible. There were some big lies told by women there too. So that's all. I'm gonna really stay with that. You know, I'm like, again, rape is a serious thing, but it's a serious accusation. And if you have life in prison on one side of that, there should be some type of repercussion for making that accusation falsely, because that's a lot of power to be wielded. Anyway, Megan Thee Stallion, you know, like y'all hit the nail on the head though. It's strip club music, and guys identify strip club music, but it's not quite the same as like Poor Righteous Teachers or Dead Prez.
Yeah.
You know, they're not the same genre of hip hop. And guess what? Men act a certain way in the strip club, and then when they leave, they stop acting that way.
Exactly.
So these women that have this over like being a stripper, and again, she can speak to it, but that's it. Take a debate class. That's also why the advice to take a debate class came up, so that you can just argue a point without just being emotional and blaming something.
Right.
And Kelly Clarkson's story of the weekend so far, it hurts being a man, you know. Equal rights means equal lefts.
I mean,
she was making
You
more
got
money
knocked
than
out
him.
in court
That's why it's
for
been more
it.
money.
you know, I mean,
That is
That's
the
it.
end of Robbie 3-time session before it goes off. And that's where we are. Thank you, Robbie, 3 times for this hilarious segment. Before we get into our second part, which is going to be quite serious, we're going to throw it to Garcia. Now, tell them, Garcia, what's up?
Yes, what is up? This is Not Your Typical Girl Talk. We go live every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And then replays happen on internet radio through Radio Regent, syndicated through iHeartRadio at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So check us out on there. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate all of you. And thank you to Radio Regent and iHeartRadio for allowing us this platform to just laugh and have fun. Don't you wish all newscasts were like this?
yes,
Like,
I
it would just
do.
be so much more fun.
I do
So
wish
much
that.
more love, so
So
much
much
more
more.
joy.
So much more.
You know?
I'm here
But,
for it.
you know, we're here for y'all. So let's go on with the show because, yeah, we still
Girl,
got
there's
enough.
a lot more to say.
Yeah. Kelly Lawyer threw the towel in, like, Robbie, he's had enough. She's had enough. Just,
Your section is done. Okay. So here is the thing. I think that what's happened in the last few years of Black people coming together has been incredible. We've been able to make certain strides. However, I think the same cannot be said equally between Black men and Black women. I think Black women are making strides that Black men aren't necessarily making. And when a successful Black man goes into a bank and wants to keep it on the low how much money he is taking out and writes a note and goes to a Black teller, and then that Black teller does what I'm about to show you, it is disgusting. Let me tell you something. We all have bank accounts. We've had them for a while. When you go into a bank and you want to withdraw a large sum of money, even if it's over $1,000, are you screaming it for the bank to hear? Are you like, how much would you like to withdraw? And you're like, $1,000, please.
Yeah. Especially now with the mask situation, I found myself like writing it down or like, you know.
As a matter of fact, you know, you lean in. You don't want to. You don't want to ball out your business and people are in the bank. They follow you.
Even in Toronto, you don't want that.
So imagine trying to go to a bank and trying to take out $12,000.
Right.
So recently, the famed director of Black Panther came into a bank and he wanted to take out some money. But instead of saying to the lady he wanted to take out this money, he wrote it on a note. And then this is what happened to him.
Poor man.
Director Ryan Coogler was temporarily detained by police back in January after a bank teller accidentally thought he was attempting a bank robbery. I am going to read the article, and then I'm going to play what you're probably going to find a little disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
It is both the 911 call and some information about what happened. So, the Black Panther director was in Atlanta attempting to make a withdrawal from his account with Bank of America. The teller received an alert on his account, according to the police report obtained by CNN, because the amount was more than $10,000. The teller notified her superior that she thought Coogler was trying to rob the bank and 911 was called. Coogler had written a note on the back of his withdrawal slip stating that he wanted the money to be counted discreetly given the amount according to the report. When police arrived, two of Coogler's colleagues who were waiting for him in a parked vehicle outside the bank were detained and placed in the back of a police car. Coogler was placed in handcuffs while police investigated the call. He was released shortly after they verified his identity, the police report states. This situation should have never happened. However, Bank of America worked with me and addressed it to my satisfaction, and we have moved on, he said in a statement. And then they said, we deeply regret that this incident occurred. It never should have happened, and we've apologized to Mr. Coogler. He was in Atlanta filming Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Couple of things I want you to hear from what I just said. He had a withdrawal slip.
Okay.
which means he would have had to put his information, including his account number. He also would have had to probably put in his bank card and verified it.
Yeah. And he did give his ID as well. I found out.
Yes, he did.
His actual ID.
And he's robbing the bank.
And the girl said that, yeah, she did get his ID, but she didn't bother to actually look at it.
Oh.
Okay, now let's hear the call. Oh, before we hear the call, actually, just because Garcia just did give some facts, here are the facts.
Yeah.
Teller admits to receiving ID and not looking at it. Dispatch sent officers, hold on, hold on, I gotta pause it. Sorry, guys. This is what happens when you don't. Okay, so pause. Dispatcher sent officers before receiving all pertinent info and says none of his information was even verified and sounded like even she didn't believe a crime was in progress. Next one, which I think is a lie because I have the recording of her actually. Okay, so then this is just some comments from people. This Ryan Coogler call is also a prime example of why police don't need to be dispatched in every situation. Imagine being Ryan Coogler and walking into a bank, saying out loud you want to withdraw $12,000, laughing my ass off like he was the one trying not to be robbed. She was so wrong for that. Okay? Now, let's hear the clip of her, if I can find it, calling the, let me see if this is the clip. Hold on.
He had a Dexter card and he inserted it. He gave me a California ID, but I was like, okay, I was like, how do you want to test that? And he's like, just look at the note.
Oh, and this is him now getting detained.
Oh my God.
Hey, sir. Do me a favor, man. Come this way. Wait, yeah, man, you back. Got it.
Oh my.
Got it. Is there any reason you're not doing this, bro?
She says, I got.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm going to read what Naturally Fair says. I'm going to tell you Naturally Fair, this is an argument I cannot agree with. So Naturally Fair is saying she was pregnant, probably afraid to do the wrong thing and ended up doing the wrong thing. Here's my thing about what we do to Black women. This was a Black pregnant woman. If this was a white woman, we'd be calling for her to be fired. She did not do her job. Number one, he gave you a withdrawal slip. Number two, he gave your ID. Number three, you went into his account and had you looked at his ID, even asked him to pull his mask down, sir, so I can verify that it's you in the ID. Number four, she clearly didn't go to training because she had went to training. She should have known that her ID did not allow to give her more than the $10,000. That is why the alert was triggered. And she should have gone to her superior and said, I need you to come and do an override code so that I can give Mr. Coogler, who I verified him, the $12,000.
Here's the thing, and I'll put this out there for people. This is what this is like. All of us have gone shopping for clothes or gone to a department store, right? Let's say you went to Macy's or whatever. And imagine every time they accidentally forget to take that little alarm thingy off.
Yep.
Imagine going through the system and the alarm going off and police just show up and detain you. Every time that happens. How would you feel?
Horrible. Oh my God.
This is basically what happened here, right? Like,
it's sad. Like, okay, fine. She's pregnant. I don't know if her baby brain got to her, but whatever it is, I don't care.
No.
This is what happens
Ask
when
a
you
manager
go.
when you don't know.
I was going to get into that. When I had to go to the bank, this is great. I had to go to the bank last week to get out a sum of money that was over $1,000. I went in, I went to the teller. He said, hold on one sec, Miss Campbell. Let me get my manager. The manager came, took me to his office, and he conducted my business.
Right.
There was no,
let me go back and forth and set off all the alarms and then call the police.
She claims that she didn't think anything was wrong, but yet she called the police anyway. I'm like, I'm sorry, chick, but all I hear is birds. Like, I don't hear what you're trying to say. Whether she has baby brain, maybe she was just mad because the Wakanda King was there, and she was like, I don't understand why this man won't put me in this damn movie, so I'm gonna make his life a living nightmare
if
right
she
now.
recognized him, this would have never happened.
She had no right to do what she did.
Have you ever heard of any bank robbery stories and seen any movies where the bank robber took a withdrawal slip and tried to take money out of their account and gave you their ID?
No.
Because Hollywood couldn't make this up. That's why.
No.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
It doesn't make any damn sense.
Hollywood couldn't make this up.
I'm gonna go off on this one, man. I was trying to find something he did wrong, and I just can't.
Because that's what Rob started asking. When I told Rob the story, he was going through the things, and as the facts, Rob was like, "Okay, does she understand that she could have gotten him killed?"
And
Exactly.
That's the question I want to ask. Why doesn't her being a pregnant Black woman make this more offensive?
It's actually more. I find
it more offensive.
That's where I'm at.
I find it
I
more
can expect
offensive
some shit like that from
Karen.
Right. And the idea
Well, I thought
that
Black Lives Matter.
No, not Black men.
this is basically why George
man.
Floyd
That's why he
died
died.
in the Minnesota streets, because someone made an
$20 bill.
unnecessary phone
That's
call.
unnecessary. And the man had a withdrawal slip. What bank robber is going to use withdrawal slip
With their
to rob a
ID.
bank?
With their ID.
Your ID.
And then you went into his
Pull
account.
down his mask.
And then you went into his account and saw that the money was actually there, but the alert was triggered. What? No. So if we're going to protect Black women, how about we start protecting Black men?
Exactly.
Because Black men are supposed to be the ones to protecting Black women. If we think that the system is going to protect us, we are so wrong. It's the Black men. He protects me. The system's not protecting me. Anyhow.
Oh boy.
Namaste.
And I'm sorry he had to go through that. I'm sure that he was just kind of
He's trying to live his life and get his little
scared,
money out.
and it's a shame because he's also out here trying to share Black stories every day. And to be honest, we owe him, some thanks for helping to get our stories out there, and the idea that he had to go through this at the hands of another Black person
Of his own.
is actually very disturbing, and I feel really bad for him, and I can't wait to see the new movie.
Okay, so here's another protect Black men. Why do the voices of Black men get muted and we only use them to serve our purposes of showing that Black men ain't ish? This narrative is getting tiring. So I'm going to play 2 clips. I'm going to play the clip that showed up on Jasmine Brand for women to make comments about, and then I'm going to play the actual clip of the show that you ladies found, which is like 2 minutes, and they took like 32 seconds and put it up for women to get outraged by. So here is the clip from Jasmine Brand with the quote, "High-earning women are less attractive." This is what the quote says. This is the clip.
A good job. I make very, very good money. And
Hold on, I'm actually gonna, so you can hear exactly the beginning part. Here's what
she
says.
says, I got a good job. I make very, very good money. And she says, the only thing I need now is a man. It's like, yo, it's like, who wants you? Who wants you? You're right. Like, once you have achieved these things, you have unfortunately disqualified yourself.
Ooh,
and
shit.
And what it is these, because and this is the thing, I'm not
Well,
blaming
the women are gonna hate him for that shit.
No.
They're gonna hate him for that. I can't wait to put this shit out.
Okay, if you heard that 30-second clip, what would you ladies say?
Even originally, even when I heard it, but this is me.
And
I'm different. I'm a Black woman out here who's done the inner work. I am not.
That's it.
I am not like most women. I looked at it and said, why did they cut it off before he could reach his point? That's the first thing I said.
We actually all said when it was Prince, where's the rest of the context?
Where's the rest of it?
Because there's more to what he's saying. Find us some context. So that's what you guys did. You guys went and found the other clip. So I'm going to play the full clip of this conversation and what was actually said. I'm hoping that this one is it. Give me a second.
a lot of you know, because we work with young guys, and the young guys, now I hear from a lot of young guys that they want a woman who's making this who has reached a certain income threshold. So income wise, you know, not talking about vision, you know, not talking about just long term things that they want to do, but income wise, their income threshold.
I don't care.
I'm not,
I don't care. Like, I'm fighting. I literally do everything in my life so that I don't have to have that as a metric for you. And there's so much more. That's why I was like, the passion is way more important than the income. Like, I don't care, because if you start having my kids and I want you to be at home, that income is gone anyways. So who cares? Like, I want you to do stuff that you enjoy, but like, I'm not pressing about like, oh, you need to make 300, 400K a year. The amount of people that can even make that kind of income is so minuscule.
That's what realism is kicking in at.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's like, you know, hypergamy is real too. So like, most like women date across and up, social dominance hierarchies, and men date across and down. So as men rise up, you have nothing but more options. As women rise up, they have very smaller options. And also, a lot of the things that get them to those points negate them. The guys that are in the same space,
they don't want that.
They don't want it, because they're like, oh, you're combative, and like, you feel like you need to be a boss and all this other stuff. And like,
you telling me what to do.
Right, and I love you, and you know, I think you might be great, etc. for somebody else, but you probably need a Robin.
It's crazy.
You don't need a Batman.
I actually had a woman tell me, she says, I got a good job, I make very, very good money, and she says the only thing I need now is a man. It's like, yo, it's like, who wants you? Who wants you? You're right. Like, once you have achieved these things, you have unfortunately disqualified yourself.
Ooh,
and
shit.
And what it is these, and this is the thing, I'm not blaming
the women are gonna hate him for that shit.
No,
they're gonna hate him for that. I can't wait to put this shit out.
They should love me for this,
ladies.
They should love me for this shit, because the women, I don't think they understand that, and I don't blame the women for that. I blame these weak ass Negroes out here. Like, because these women, they don't want to wait. You got this social media phenomenon, and they see this lifestyle. They don't want to wait to find you to build the lifestyle that they want. So they go out and build it themselves. And when they build it themselves, it's like, yo,
what I need you for?
What?
Okay.
So you see how the narrative now has changed.
But you know what? People need to remember two things: Jasmine Brand, Boston. All the other the shade room. What are they known for? They're there to get clicks. So of course they're going to find the most controversial thing and a very positive clip, but they're going to find out one little nugget, and they're going to twist the narrative so that people, all the black men, will come and say, "Oh, you jerk! Oh, don't protect them. See, ladies, I told you." And they start this whole whirlwind. Now, what we just played is gold. But but Jasmine Brand's like, no, we don't. Let's get that little thing
young
he
brother
said.
is correct, right? Here is a woman who has risen to the top of her career, and she's saying the young man is correct. But the reality is, if all cats saw with that original 30-second clip and not the 2.5-minute clip for the clickbait, you would go, "What the hell is he talking about?" But the man is like, this is why Rob kind of sat back and was like, this man is spewing, because that is actually the life we live. He's like, the more I make, why do you need to go up there and exchange 40 hours of your time for someone else? Keep your 40 hours in your job.
Exactly. Live through your passion is what he's saying. I don't care if your passion is sewing all day, and then I want you to be happy, go ahead and do it, right? But the thing is, we're putting out this narrative saying that, oh, men don't want women to do anything. But that is not the narrative. The narrative is men don't want you coming in every evening at 7:30 at night saying, "I hate my job, I hate my life, I never do anything fun, my life sucks." They don't want you to do that. They want to come home and see you happy because you are decorating the house, or you are sewing, or you are cooking up a storm, and you're happy. But that narrative is never,
it's not, because it's controlled. Jasmine Brand is no different than CNN and Fox News. They control the narrative because Jasmine Brand has a line. They're like, we need to make money. We need to get as much clicks as possible on this clip. So I want you little interns to get to work, find the most controversial thing in these clips, and blast it on our Instagram.
I do want to read some of what our friends are saying. So naturally, Fierce is saying, you know, Jasmine Brand is stirring the pot.
They really are.
And Cass Forever Rising is saying, I would have wondered what the context was. Like you guys, I've healed, so I get it. And that's what I'm saying. Women that have healed,
they get it.
Would have said what we said, which is, wait a minute, no, that's not it.
Exactly.
What caused this one little sentence to come up? And what did he say after? Because it was cut off.
Everything has a story, a beginning, a middle, and the end. They just play the middle. What happened before and after that? But no one cares for that.
Robbie
they
3 times over here itching. Robbie 3 times over here. So we got some. Give you the floor. Talk. Go ahead.
Like I said, the Ryan Coogler joint, I tried to find fault in him with what he did. And the more information came out, the more uncovered it was. It was like, it makes me think that he got paid and signed an NDA, because this happened back in January. He's reluctant to talk about it because he just got a bag. He was like, yo, y'all effing my money up right now, actually, by even breaking this as a story, because me and BOA done already took care of it. But the social context of the story is, again, this is a black woman that called the police on a affluent black man for trying to discreetly withdraw his own money out of the bank. And again, that could be expected from Karen. It's offensive from Tamika. It's like, you got that little respect for brothers that that's why I was like, yo, that's a method of bank robbery though, guys. Pass the note. But they don't usually pass the note with the ID and have the car outside.
Unless they are DM.
It's not like it was sitting outside the car running either. They said the car was parked.
Yeah, it wasn't running.
So again, I think Bank of America was so like, let's sweep this under the rug, and broke him on off and made him sign an NDA to not talk about it, and that was the end of it. Now, to the more troubling, and it's again, that Jasmine Brand, the salaciousness of all that, but it really wanted me to get on that, is he's not saying that. Like what even the clip, if you want to just bust it down at that, it is true, because once you've got to be at that point, dude's not looking at you as a dating prospect, he's looking at you as competition. Oh. You trying to take my job, chick. And when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, man, James Brown couldn't even have made the song "It's a Man's World" no more, because they would have cut it off at "It's a Man's World." But what is the real lyrics? It's a man's world, but it's nothing without a woman.
I love that song.
It's so good.
They would have canceled that shit today.
It's true.
Oh yeah.
They try to cancel Cater.
Because what's wrong with that? Why can't it be a man's world? Like it always has been.
Right.
Why do we gotta...
Because of feminism.
It still is a man's world.
But it's nothing without a woman. We know that. We understand that.
That's the problem. And not to cut you, Robbie, 3 times, but that's the problem. The men I speak to understand that they need their women. Rob is very clear to people. He's had guys tell him, you need your woman, I don't need a woman. He's like, good luck with your life. Like, wish you the best, bro, but I'm gonna continue on with my woman, who is making my life a little bit easier. I can breathe a little bit better when I'm outside these doors, because I know what I got at home. So how are the black men understanding that? But black women, again, we talked about in our other show, independent means alone. Interdependence is what it is. And Rob made a good point. Instead of teaching our daughters to be independent, teach them to be self-sufficient.
That's it.
That's very different. We were taught to be self-sufficient, not independent, because we understand no matter where you are in this world, you need other people. And that's why interdependence is the thing. But these women are hearing independent. Then they get independent. Now what? Now you're independent. Now what?
Girl,
that whole part.
I mean, that's what dudes say. Man, I got the job I want. I got the house I want. It's been so many blue songs made. I got the job I want, the house I want, the car I want, but it's not a home because I don't got a woman. So the woman sitting around talking about, I got the job I want, I got the car I want, I got the house I want. All I need is a man. It doesn't sound the same.
Sounds like Megan Thee Stallion talking there.
Right?
Megan Thee Stallion all over again. True.
And like again, to each his own, I'll be a little timid of Megan. Like I don't think she might hurt me.
And with that, we want to thank everybody for joining us for this show.